Hi, boys and girls. My name is Miss Peggy, and I own a Your CBD store in Hickory Flat. I want to thank you so much for inviting me into your classroom to read to you today. I have two older daughters and two grandchildren, and one of our favorite books is the story of Ferdinand the Bull. So I'm really excited to read this to you today, and I hope that you enjoy it. Ferdinand the Bull was written by Monroe Leaf. Okay, let's get started. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He just liked to sit quietly and smell the flowers. It doesn't sound like a bull, does it? He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. Do you have a favorite spot you like to spend your time? I bet you do. It was his favorite tree, and he would just sit in the shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid that he would get lonesome all by himself. Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head, she would ask. But Ferdinand would just shake his head. I like it better here where I can sit quietly and smell the flowers. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she just let him sit there and be happy. That's a sweet mama cow. As years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew and got big and strong. He's a handsome a handsome bull. He's a handsome bull. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight the bullfights in Madrid. There's a sign advertising the bullfights. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, the fastest, the roughest bull to fight the bullfights in Madrid. 5 men with funny hats. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting and leaping and jumping, so the men would think they were very, very strong and fierce, and pick them for the bullfights. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, but he didn't care, so he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on some nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Oh no, what happened? Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that's just what that bee did to Ferdinand. Look at those eyes. Wow, did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting and butting and pawing the ground like he was crazy. The 5 men saw him and they shouted with joy. Here was the largest, the fierce bull of all. Just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. He looks funny, doesn't he? So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. What a day it was. Flags were flying and bands were playing. It was a big day in Madrid. And all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. We all love parades, don't we? First came the banderillos, who with large sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick the bull and make him mad. See those funny hats? Next came the picadillos. Next came the picadillos, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull to make him even madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of them all. He thought he was very handsome, and he bowed to all the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword, and he was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull. You know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. There he is, right there. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce. And all the banderillos were afraid of him, and the picadors were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. There they are. Ferdinand ran into the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns all around. There he is, right here. What's going to happen? But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw all the flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled the flowers. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And all the banderillos were mad, and the picadors were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home in the cart from Madrid. There he goes. And for all I know, he is sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers, and he is so happy. And that, boys and girls, is the end of the story. The story of Ferdinand the Bull that liked to sit around and smell flowers instead of fight. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I enjoyed reading it to you. Have a great day. Bye.